Good evening and welcome here to the 10th iteration of Friday Dirt Night here on Racespot TV, streaming live on iRacingLive for 2018 season number 2. Randy Chenowth bringing you all the action this evening, maybe joined by Johnny Simone if he can wake up. It is not the greatest time in Australia right now. Qualifying currently underway. Drivers circulating out there on the racetrack as getting ready to kick off the first iRacing Indianapolis 500 of the week here on Friday. It'll be an interesting preview to see what the race will be like tomorrow. Join myself, Will Vincent, and Aaron Likens tomorrow afternoon for the iRacing Indianapolis 500, the greatest spectacle in sim racing. But let's take a look here at the sort of qualifying times we are seeing thus far. See if anyone's out there on the racing surface. Right now, Daniel Finalisa, currently slowest on the track with a 37.222. Running the 9th spot is out there. Well, he's already used up his 3 allotted qualifying laps, so he will not be improving on this one. Let's see if there's anyone actually out there on hot laps. There's the bright orange Ford Fiesta of Bobby Zielinski. He keeps changing manufacturers back and forth, so I never know what he's going to be in. Josh Fox is stationary on the racetrack. Connor Parisi, he's on the tail end of a hot lap. Current best is put him 5th on the grid. That's a 36.801. Let's see if he's going to improve here through the final sector here. He's trying to straight line and get to start finish, and he will go to a 36.792, and he's actually the last runner. Did not improve on that time, but let's go down your starting grid for these heat races. For heat race number 1, on the left hand side of your screen, Stilian Chipolevsky going to be on pole with Josh Fox, Connor Parisi, Bastien Remise, and Daniel Finalisa rounding out the field here in heat race number 1. That'll put the other few drivers in heat race number 2. We will not have a last chance qualifier or a B main this evening. Thank you once again for joining us here on Racespot TV, streaming live on iRacingLive as we get ready to go racing here in heat race number 1. See, there's 3 Fusion teammates here in this heat race. Reds begin to come up. And we are green for heat race number 1 for Friday Night Dirt Night. Stilian Chipolevsky gets a good jump. Josh Fox and Connor Parisi, the 2 Fusion teammates, they'll be wheel to wheel in towards corners number 1 and 2 for the first time through that 180-degree right-hander. All 5 cars will make it through. Now, who's going to joker early here? Connor Parisi is going to be held up by a teammate. He will not be able to joker on the first lap. Stilian, and basically the entire rest of the grid, takes the joker this first lap. So Stilian Chipolevsky, Josh Fox, Bastien Remise, and Daniel Finalisa, all 4 of those drivers joker on lap number 1. Connor Parisi does not, so look for him to potentially make up spots as Finalisa. He's off in the infield here, and he's got damage on that lime green Ford Fiesta. Let's see what happened to him. See him here as he exits the joker, gets a big bite of oversteer, probably yoinking that handbrake, just tries to come through, and well, doesn't even get it anywhere near right, just basically center punches that tire bollard. That's not good for the alignment there. He's going to have to start from the tail end of the feature race when we get there. Now Connor Parisi's going to joker. Is he going to come out third? I think he pushed a little bit too hard there. That cost him a lot of speed. Can he get a run here, though? Going to be fighting with Bastien Remise down this straightaway. Going to be able to be clear, though, as Connor's going to now cycle into third here in heat race number 1. So through the first corners, once again, working lap number 3 of 5 in the first heat race. And down now towards that joker lap, Stilian Chipolevsky. Everyone, of course, they've already used their jokers here early. A little surprised to see a couple of those guys so deep down on the field kind of pop their joker cherry that early in this heat race. No real point in doing so, because all it doesn't really give you any advantage if you all joker at the same time. You typically want to use that joker to get yourself an advantage a little bit later on in the run. I think Connor Parisi potentially could have had an advantage, just unfortunately doesn't quite have the pace as they come away now to take 2 to go. So through that first corner, they're going to come past that sector. Again, joker lap going off to the left. Bastien Remise still trying to chase down the Vision teammates, but nothing really going just yet. You see everyone up and over the jump now into this tight sector here at the end of the lap. Also see Daniel Finalisa is technically on the circuit still. He has not called it quits, but he's 24 seconds off your race lead. So they cycle through, white flag waving at the timing gantry. It's about 0.6 of a second the gap between Steely. Actually, take that back. It's out to a full second between Steely and Chiplewski and Josh Fox. Then another full second between Josh Fox and Connor Parisi, and then Bastian Amis a further 2 seconds back. So nothing really tightly contested here in heat race number 1. And they're going to continue to cycle on through the final corner. Steely and Chiplewski just going to look keen on trying to be nice, calm, cool, and collected. Do this final right-hander, maybe a little bit wide there for a moment, but apexes that tire baller nicely. And with that, Steely is going to come off that final corner, and he's going to win heat race number 1 with Josh Fox in second, Connor Parisi in third, Bastian Remise fourth, and Daniel Fenelisa rounding out the 5 cars in heat race number 1. Let's see where Daniel cycles through. He's still technically out there on the racetrack, and more issues for Daniel. He's really struggling in that lime green and blue machine. That's pretty much going to be the end of his race. He's going to get a slowdown for cutting the track like this as well. I think he's just going to park it, and we're going to get ready for heat race number 2 in just a moment. You see Steely and Chiplewski cycle through. Not really sure what Daniel's actually doing there. Now he's going to come through to take the checkered flag. Quick, short little stretch. Seems like he has a bit of damage on that machine after that hit, which does not surprise me one bit. But as he crosses the line, that's going to bring heat race number 1 to an end. So let's go down heat race number 2 here. Starting grid on the left-hand side of your screen now. Johan Hart on pole with Bobby Zielinski second, Bobby Sand Jr. in third, and Matt Hartley round out your 4-car heat race. Get no last chance qualifiers. All drivers are now on the grid. And we are green for heat race number 2 of 2. And this time it's 2 Ford Fiesta that's going to lead the way here down in towards 2-1. Johan Hart, Bobby Zielinski, they're going to be wheel-to-wheel through the first corner. You see Johan pick up that right rear inside tire. Let's see who's going to joker here on this opening lap. Johan's going to go for it. Bobby Zielinski, I think this is a smart move. He's going to take the regular lap here. Up and over the jump. A little bit of an awkward landing here as Johan and I believe that's Bobby Sand Jr. Yes, it is. Those 2 drivers, they're going to cycle out first and second. Bobby Zielinski into third. And Matt Hartley, he's going to ring up the tail end of the field in fourth. To come to the end right now of lap number 1, Bobby Zielinski's going to have some work to do. Let's ride on board with him just a little bit and see what he's going to actually end up doing here. Do you see down in towards that first corner? Through this tight right-hander. Quick left, quick right. Is he going to joker here early? No, he's not. He's going to stay on the racetrack, and I like this. This gives him the ability to potentially reel in Bobby Sand Jr., who's running in that second spot, close to the back of Johan Hart right now. We're going to check in with this fight, the fight for the race lead. Team Fusion versus Team Race Clutch. You see both of those drivers very close to those tire ballers, getting it as straight as they can. Johan Hart's kind of just on another level right now as he runs away from that number 9 car, Bobby Sand Jr. Oh, it appears Bobby Zielinski may have had some trouble, or did Matt Hartley may have jokered. Yes, Matt jokered that last lap trip through. So Bobby Zielinski drops another spot, and Bobby's going to joker right here, right now. So let's see where he comes out. I was going to switch the camera. We're going to stay on board as they transition now back to the regular racetrack. Will Bobby be able to pick up a place? That's Johan Hart you see out in front of him, and there's Bobby Sant Jr. A little bit of contact between the 2 of them, and I think Sant may have just kissed that little tire baller there on the inside. So close fight between the 2 of them right now as they head under the timing beam and beginning lap number 4 of 5. So now through that right-hand corner, still not quite able to get it there just yet as Bobby Zielinski. Not much he can really do now. Only 1 good passing opportunity. I will say Phoenix is pretty racy. Not a great line for Bobby up and over that jump. Bobby Zielinski, that is, but ends up getting it relatively stable. And they're going to now get the final lap. This is going to be the one part of the track where Bobby Zielinski will have an opportunity in towards corner number 1. Is the best passing opportunity on track. Can that orange number 4 slot it down the inside at turn 1? No, he doesn't look close enough. He's going to look up the inside, but nowhere near close enough. Is that number 4 car, Bobby Zielinski? Looks like Bobby Sant Jr. going to be able to hold on to that second spot, while Johan Hart is going to remain out in front here with the rest of the field. Over the jump and through this tight sector for the final time. Long right-hander. Still seeing if there's any mistakes that are going to be coming through, but everyone's looking pretty much picture perfect as Johan Hart is going to come through, and he's going to win the second of 2 heat races here at Phoenix. Bobby Sant Jr. going to take the second spot, with Bobby Zielinski and Matt Hartley rounding out the 4-car field in heat race number 2. And with that, let's go down the starting grid for your feature event already coming at you right here, right now. Quick action here on Friday night, Dirt Night. Stilian Chiplewski going to be on pole with Johan Hart in second. Josh Fox is in third with Bobby Sant Jr. in fourth. Connor Parisi fifth. Bobby Zielinski in sixth. Bastian Remise in seventh. Matt Hartley in eighth. And Daniel Matrani Fenelisa rounding out this 9-car field. Field is already set. Cars are already on the grid. And we are green. Stilian Chiplewski leads them down in towards corner number 1. Will they all be clear? See him 3 wide in the middle of the field. Got Bobby Brandt in that little mix-up, but it's going to be Vujan Racing who continues to lead. One of the Vujan cars. Bobby gets a hit. And no, Bobby Zielinski, he's going to be off. The orange punching bag continues. And that's going to basically be day done for Bobby. He'll be able to stay out there. You see the entire field. Joker's on lap number 1, except for one other driver. I can't actually see who that was. It was Bobby Sant Jr., the Vujan Racing cars. The entire grid, just Joker. And I want to get a replay of that just to see how impressive that was and how funny that is to see. You don't typically see this many cars taking the Joker lap this early. Let's rewind the cameras back a little bit further. This is riding on board with the driver of Matt Hartley through this first lap. See him go in through corner number 1. And well, because everyone wants to be nice and safe, they like to joke here early. You see him get into line, and then he basically just turns that car to left. And look at all the cars out in front of him. On the one hand, jokering means you're safe, but on the other, it means you cannot use the Joker lap as a tool at any point. So look potentially for Bobby Sant Jr. Actually, is he already jokered? He may have already done his Joker lap here, and he has. And he's jumped a lot of spots. He's up to P number 4 is Bobby Sant Jr., and he's going to be happy with that one. Actually, no, I take that back. He leads here. So Bobby Sant Jr., the last trip around the racetrack, phenomenal Joker lap. He cycles into the race lead. What's happened to Stilian Chiplewski? We get a replay of this. See if there's been any issues from him. Rewind the cameras back about 40 seconds. Oh, I see Johan Hart and him side by side. And no contact there. But is there going to be... Oh, Johan Hart got involved as well. Big contact between him and Johan. I missed this initially. We're going to ride on board with Johan for this one after this replay. And Bobby Sant Jr. has been able to cheekily get himself away into the race lead because of this. So we're going to rewind the cameras back further. Find Johan. See, that's Stilian out there in front of him. This would have been them coming through that final sequence of corners on that lap before they ended up coming out. This would be the end of the first lap. Down now through in towards corner number 1. You see him side by side. Johan so close to that tire bollard on the right. A little bit of contact there indeed. And through this right-hander is where it ends up happening. He gets spun off into the tire bollard. Well, Stilian gets pushed out way out there off to driver's left. So big contact for those two, and that's going to allow Bobby Sant Jr. to go from being the only car to not take a Joker lap on the opening lap. And now he leads here with teammate Josh Fox closely hounding him down in that second spot. Connor Parisi in third. So despite the early trouble there for Stilian, Vujan Racing still 1, 2, 3. Daniel Fenelisa, after his troubles, runs 4th. Bastian Remise is in 5th, and he's fighting with Matt Hartley and Johan Hart. And actually, Matt Hartley just picked up that 5th spot. So Johan Hart, Bastian Remise has fallen back to 6th, and Johan Hart has fallen back into 7th. Phenomenal last lap for Matt Hartley. He picked up 2 spots that trip around the circuit. And there's 5 laps remaining. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there from the 7 of Bastian Remise. Johan Hart is going to try to take advantage side by side through this left-hander before the jump. That's not going to be easy. As Johan Hart, they see him basically fling that car every which direction over the jump. And they're going to be 3 wide for a moment, leaning on each other and now towards this final sector of the racetrack. Still remaining 3 wide as they head now down, heading towards the front straightaway. And it's Matt Hartley, who's going to be able to hold on to that, well driven by all those drivers. Johan Hart, though, definitely the big loser in that little scrap. Let's get a replay on board with that one, right on board with Johan. So this is through the first sequence of corners. You see him jump out to the left-hand side, trying to make that move on Bastian Remise. Through the jump now and walks away. This car's going to flick back to the right with the weight transfer going up and over the jump. And through here, they're just going to be 3 wide. You see 2 cars who's inside there occasionally through the windshield. If you look exactly how wide he went, really cost him a lot of time running that much of the racetrack out that wide. Not a lot of speed out there, not a lot of grip. And something has actually happened to Bobby. Bobby St. Jr.'s run into problems, and he goes from leading to now he's part of this scrap. So Johan Hart goes from fighting with those 2 drivers that somehow gotten around him, and now leads this little pack in, I believe this is 4th spot. Connor Parisi and Daniel Finalisa still 3rd and 2nd with Josh Fox out in front, coming to 2 laps to go. What happened to Bobby St. Jr.? Has more trouble with him as that's going to be Bachelor Meese making a move on the inside. He picks up that spot. And Matt Hartley's going to come, maybe make, oh, a bit of a mistake there from Matt Hartley. And that's going to basically drop him out of this motor race, that mistake. And these drivers are going to cycle on through and continue their fights. What has happened to Bobby St. Jr.? I want to rewind the cameras back and see. He was in 2nd place right here, so he had some other problem that I missed as well. Just collapsing under the pressure, I think. As you see, that's Josh Fox out in front of him at this point. What ends up happening? Is it contact between teammates? Or, oh, he makes a mistake. He just gets into the tire baller. Did it all by himself, did Bobby St. Jr. But that is going to allow Mr. Josh Fox to hold on here through this final sequence of corners. Up and over the jump for the final time. Astilian Chiplewski's going to check in at least for a bit of a photo op, but he's a full lap behind his teammate through the final long right-hand sector. And Josh Fox is going to take victory here on Dirt Night week number 10 here at Phoenix. What a fantastic drive from Josh Fox. Exciting race with a lot of fireworks in that one, a lot of dramas in the early goings, a lot of dramas late. As he's going to be the driver to bring it home here in that first position. Connor Parisi and Daniel Finalisa, after starting 9th of 9 in this feature, ends up on the podium. I think he's going to be pretty happy about that one. Answer your question, DJF. Yes, this was the top split. See a couple drivers doing some celebrating. We've been getting some unfortunate luck with the split numbers, I will say. 14 drivers is the max, and we keep getting about 16 to 17 drivers signing up, which means we're keep ending up with servers about 8 to 9 racers as opposed to 13, 14 that I know everyone would love to see. But with that, let's go down your post-race results after 10 laps of action here in Friday Dirt Night for the GRC Rallycross cars. Josh Fox takes the win 4.5 seconds north of Connor Parisi, and Daniel Finalisa, what a run from him, goes from 9th up to 3rd. Just nice, calm consistency, gets him a solid podium. Bastien Mies ends up 4th, with Bobby St. Jr. just one little mistake puts him from a chance of victory to running just barely in the top 5. Matt Hartley ends up in 6th after his little hiccup. Johan Hart, Stilian Chiplewski, and then Bobby Zielinski. He's going to finish this thing 10 laps down after getting into trouble on that opening lap. Post-race coverage going to be coming at you in just a couple of moments. We'll wait and give it a little bit, see if we get any drivers turning up. Do a couple of interviews, then I'll be on to USAC at Knoxville. For reference, DJF, GRC and Rallycross is still only available at 2 levels. There's just a World Championship Series that's on top of that, but that does not run weekly or hourly. That will not take away from the weekly participation. And in fact, a lot of the drivers you see here, like the Josh Fox, Connor Parisi, Bastien Mies, basically most of the drivers that were in this grid will be running in that World Championship level series. So even though it looks like there's sort of a 3rd series, in reality, there's just sort of not. iRacing just sort of needs to do some work and revert some of the splitting numbers, I feel. Because we've lost a lot. We've sort of, the GRC content has sort of tapered off to kind of the usual numbers you expect for most of the Rallycross series. I know a lot of people had high hopes with the, the hundreds and thousands of people that were signing up for races on week 13 when the content first released. But the honest to God truth is that that was never sustainable from the beginning. Christopher Jenkins, will the modifieds ever going to be put on Friday Dirt Night? I'll say that that's what you likely meant to say. The answer to that is maybe. I'm the one who normally comes up with the Friday Dirt Night schedules. The problem with the modifieds is their time slot. Of course, 4:15, well, it's 4:15 Pacific where I live, but 7:15 Eastern is the time slot the modifieds are in, and they were conflicting with that with the midgets earlier in the season. I tried to make the midgets work, but they simply didn't. I think it was a combination of the cars and the time slot. I know the modifieds are more popular. However, if we were to do them, they would have to slot in at the 9:15 time slot. Whether or not that's something we potentially be interested in, I'm not sure, because we're going to be busy. We are not sure yet if we're going to be carrying Dirt Night into next season. But I know the modifieds are heavily requested, so they are something that we're looking at to potentially be put in if we end up doing that again. However, we need to get to the interviews, and the race winner at the end of 10 laps is that number 2 car of Josh Fox. Josh, pretty quick night of action here. We were only racing, I think, for about 10 minutes from heat race number 1 to the finish of the feature. Pretty small grid. How did your race go from your perspective?
Man, that was by far the most intense dirt night I've been a part of yet. I really hate to see what happened to Stellian and Johan there. That was a big net code. There was like 2 feet between their car. And that was a really good opportunity for our new teammate, Bobby Sant Jr., to leapfrog us all in the Joker. And he was looking really good there until he had a little problem with the tire. But it was a really strong night for our whole team, and really, really happy to come away with the win.
And I'm talking about the Joker laps. We saw it a couple times tonight. I think it was in the first heat race, and it happens in the feature right there. Just talking about the Joker. I mean, the opening lap in heat race number 1, I think 4 of the 5 cars jokered, and then in the actual feature race, we saw basically everyone except Bobby come down, take that Joker on that opening lap. I know that the logic often dictates that you want to protect your position with the Joker lap, but are people maybe mind gaming themselves a little bit? You know, they maybe last season in these broadcasts saw, or maybe used to seeing like some Mitchell DeYoung, those guys who are typically out in front Joker early, so they think it's, automatically the best thing to do. Do you think people are putting themselves into harder situations by just defaulting to take a lap 1 Joker lap? Because it seemed to me that if you're running 6th, 7th, 8th place, then you don't necessarily need to Joker first, because if someone passes you, it's not really a huge deal. You just want to try to maintain clean track. And if you just Joker with everyone else, you don't ever get clean track.
Yeah, I agree. And my thinking of it is kind of like, if I'm second or anywhere, further back than that, I would not want to take the Joker on the first lap. It was kind of like in the heat race and the feature, I was pretty much forced to take it, because if you're offline going into that dirt section, you're going to lose a bunch of time going over the jump, so you might as well just do it. And I was stuck on the outside, I think, definitely in the heat race, and I think too in the feature, which is why I took it behind the leader. But honestly, I think it'd be a lot better for people behind to, wait, not like do it on like later in the race, because there's a lot of trouble that could happen in the Joker. I've seen it a couple times where people get it wrong and put it in the wall, and you can really block up that exit pretty easily, and it'd be a shame to have half the field stuck in it when everyone's trying to Joker. So I try to, if I'm the leader, I'll definitely take it lap 1, but any further back than that, I would definitely want to wait and see if I can catch the leader, maybe make a mistake or something, then use it to get by.
Well, thank you for joining us, Josh. Congratulations on the win. I'd say you looked dominant, but you really didn't. You sort of got handed the position after some incidents out in front of you, but any win is a good one, and guess what? That happens in GRC. So before we let you go, any shout-outs who would you like to thank after the victory here tonight?
Well, got to thank the whole team, Stellian, Connor, our new teammate Bobby, JB, really, really great group of guys we got working over there, and we're really picking up a lot of momentum and steam heading into the World Championship, so whenever that starts, that'll be good. And thanks to you guys for a great broadcast.
You are more than welcome, Josh, and thanks for coming in and putting on such a good show. Before we get your teammate down here, Connor Parisi, due to the sort of limited show, I am answering some questions. Christopher Jenkins, iRacing, are there going to be any street racetracks for the IndyCar series, and will there be a NASCAR dirt truck series? Because that would be very cool. Now, I don't have any say on the NASCAR dirt truck series, but yes, there are some street courses coming in. There is a street course coming in for the IndyCar. Belle Isle is coming in this next build, coming in June. That's going to be probably the first street course we really see it finish. Of course, Long Beach is in the sim right now as a tech track, but there's some limitations due to that. So you will be getting a street course in about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time. This is week 10, right, Josh?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, this is week 10. So you have this week. Well, I mean, this week's over, so it doesn't even count as a week. You have next week, the week after, and then on that week 13, right now, Belle Isle is slated for release. So be excited about that one. But with that, let's move on to our second place finisher, the number 5 of Connor Parisi. Connor started 5th, finished 2nd. A couple of your teammates led and then got taken out. How was your run of that number 5 car?
It was very, very good. I mean, I was a 5th place car, really. I mean, speed-wise, I was pretty slow tonight, but, you know, there's a little bit of catastrophe at the beginning of the race with Stellian and Johan. It looked like a little netcode, but it was a great battling with Josh and Bobby. I mean, it's too bad Bobby, he tagged the barriers a couple times. We were having a really good battle.
And now I know you guys are still gearing up for that World Championship. We were hoping for it to start a little bit earlier, but due to some things out of iRacing's control, things got pushed back a little bit until June. Do you guys like the pushback? Give you a little bit more time to prepare, or you already angsty and wish you could have gotten started by now?
I wish we could have gotten started. I mean, it's wicked unfortunate, you know, the circumstances that led to the pushback, but I'm hoping we can come out even bigger and better now that we have more time to prepare.
Well, thanks for joining us, Connor. Who gets it done for you guys at Fusion?
Stellian and Josh are wicked fast. We just brought Bobby in. He's wicked good with setup, so it's great to have them. I got to thank Terry the Nerd Renner, obviously. We got the best cars on track, for sure. You guys for the broadcast and my 2.5 fans that are watching. Thanks.
2.5 fans for Connor Parisi. And that's going to basically be the end of this one. We do have one more person stood by. It's going to be Stellian Cheplevsky. And well, Stellian, you finished 8th in a 9-car field. That's not a top 10 I think you're ever happy with.
It happens, guys. So it starts great, and then the feature, the first lap were just amazing till that point where we got a little netcode, and that upset the Johan's car. He hit the tires, then came back to me. Then I stuck to the wall, never managed to put the reverse gear. But yeah, things happen, so move on. Next one.
And now we've mentioned this Fusion Racing team. You recently just found Bobby out of nowhere, and he came out and led some laps. Unfortunately, a little bit of mistake from him. Bobby Sant Jr., not a name I'm overly familiar with. Has he been a long-time member of Fusion, or is he sort of a new pickup?
He joined us last week. They're really close friends with Josh, and they start working together on GRC, and he looks really good driver actually, and he brings some refreshment in our team. So we are keep pushing our limits, trying to fix the car every week better and better. And you know, guys like Bobby needed in that team. We're happy to have him.
Well, thanks for joining us, Stellian. Congratulations on the second to last place finish. Before we let you go, any shout outs? Who gets it done for you to be running so terribly every week?
Things happen, so I'm not really upset, so it's nobody's fault, just
that's such a boring and politically correct answer.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So I want to thank my team, the guys involved, Connor, Josh, Bobby, JB, Joe. I want to thank you guys for the great broadcast every Friday. And yeah, I forgot last time, but I really have to thank the Hustingville team. I mean, the guys have really brilliant service. I ran into problem a few weeks ago, and They just found the solution without any further questions or excuses. They just found solution for my problem, so I really big thanks to them too.
Well, thanks for joining us once again, Stillian. Hope to see you run better next week in the penultimate round of 2018. Excuse me, penultimate week of 2018 season 2.
Yeah. I hope I have better luck there. But well done to Josh for his win. Now the championship is really tight. He catch up with me, and it's gonna be more interesting from now on.
Definitely is. And with that, it's going to bring to an end of our GRC coverage, but instead of going to an advert, I'm going to do things a little bit differently, a little bit of an impromptu Randy Chenowth AMA. So post some questions in the chat, and I will answer them if I can and as honestly as I can. So just basically ask a question. I'm monitoring it. It'll basically be all me the entire time. Just quite simply put a question in there, and I will give it a good old college try on answering it without getting in trouble. Now, hopefully I spelt that word right. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a genius in the Racespot group, but that's okay. Forever, we have about 6 minutes for the USAC stuff kicks off. If you have any questions about anything, it doesn't have to be Red Bull Global Rallycross related. Does not have to be doesn't even really have to be iRacing related, I guess. Next season GRC stream, perhaps. Do I wish I had a second commentator? Yes, I do. I'm personally not a fan of commentating solo. Definitely, I feel like I can get into a better rhythm when I have a second person. But next season GRC stream, the World Championship is due to start in June. I know some people are a little skeptical that maybe it's got canceled after the initial sort of what happened, but it is going to be happening in June. It is not. It is just sort of did some things that were outside of iRacing's control that happened. Joker lap rules, Wesley. That's it's his American Rallycross style, where the Joker laps are shortcuts. You get one to use every single race, so that includes heat races, last chance qualifiers, in the feature. Perhaps Bobby, is Johnny saving his morning broadcast for WCS? Well, Johnny's from the UK, so you got to realize for WCS, that's 6 a.m. our time, because I know Bobby's from California. So whatever that's 12 hours different. So I think that's a day broadcast for him, but I'm not really sure. My favorite car on iRacing? Ooh, that's a tough one. Right now I'm a big fan of the Indy car right now, particularly on road courses. Osteo asks, can we spectate the race in session instead of just a stream? Yes, you can. If you're an iRacing member, you just join it as a spectator. If you don't actually know how to do that, I'll actually show you how to do it right now. I'll drag down my iRacing member thing. So if you want to spectate any of our sessions, let me get our graphics out of the way. If you want to spectate any of these, I have my mouse hidden, but all you have to do is you go to Find Official Races, Watch, Ghost, Crew, and Spot. And then you just pick one of these options here. You can't see the actual indicator, but you can see where it's lighting up. So, for example, this is a dirt road series. The one that's coming up will be the USAC 360 series. Just go to Dirt Oval. It'll eventually load up. And I'll just scroll on through here. And right now, these are the only 4 Dirt Oval races that are currently happening. And to spectate one, we always spectate the session ID. So if you look what I'm highlighting right here, that's called the sub-session ID. What a sub-session is in layman's terms, is a split. And the way you spectate one is that we always broadcast the lowest numbered split. The split that is closest to 0 is the top split. That's always the one we broadcast. So in a couple of moments, let's actually take a look for the USAC 360 Sprint Car Series. Right now there's 22 of them signed up and 20 of them. So there will be 2 splits of the sprint cars. If you want to join the session as a spectator, you are more than welcome, but it will not have commentary and stuff. That is just you basically being in the sim like regular. Let's Let's see. Joker lap rules. Catch up here a little bit. My most memorable race call. Not actually sure. There's a couple. I've had a few big ones. A couple big IndyCar races. Indy 500 last year was pretty cool. I've had some World Championship not GP3, but World Championship level stuff as well. How hard is it to set up for broadcasting iRacing? It depends what you define as hard. You need to know some basic programming. You need to know, well, you don't need to know. To get in as an announcer is relatively easy. You just have to get a microphone and be willing to learn. It's basically, you know, that's it for becoming a commentator. You don't need any, like, previous experience or anything, but there's also not a lot of money in it as well for, well, in the current state anyways, especially for entry-level guys. Getting involved with something like Racespot, GRC, you know, any of the sort of broadcasters currently on the sim, as long as you're sort of reliable, they will take you and you will be able to get in. In terms of, like, actually streaming a computer and, like, starting something from scratch, you're going to need to know how to program overlays, and you're going to need a really powerful computer and really powerful internet. So, like, right now, I mean, my PC, for you guys who are in the know, it's like I have a GTX 1080. I have a 7700K. It's pretty expensive. Embarrassing moment. I've cursed a couple times on air, a couple times. I've also made some embarrassing mistakes on people's names. That's always a little embarrassing. What series does iRacing do? I mean, I'll bring back the menu. So this is the complete, whoops, that's the wrong button. Under here, this is the complete list of series. Under Oval, there's probably close to 20, ranging from Delaros to actually no, there's more than that because I have a B-class license because I'm a scrub. There's probably about 20 Oval Series total, and maybe closer to 30 on road. So this entire list right here that I'm scrolling up and down through is just road series. See, there's a lot of road series ranging from like MX-5s to V8 supercars. You have the Le Mans series, which is like LMP1 GTE and the LMP2 prototype, etc., etc. Dirt Oval, so you got, these are the two World Championship series. Then you have the non-wing sprint car, the 410. This is the sprint car we're about to be doing, the non-wing 360. There's probably close to about 100 series total, maybe closer to 70. If I had to do a rough guess, I've never actually done a count. Current points leader in peak, I believe, is Keegan Leahy. I think. I don't actually know because I'm a bad commentator. Let me do a quick check. Bobby Zielinski should be able to answer to that by the time that I even get to this. Because it's definitely not him. Oh, actually, you know what? It's probably Ray. It's probably Ray who's currently leading the way in the points as I click on the wrong option. Yep, Ray Alfala leads. Keegan Leahy is in second with 208. Man, these are some boring questions. Oh, Yoni Hagner. Oh, God. Let's see. Any other questions? I already got it, Bobby. You're useless. Can you use a HP computer? It depends on the specs of the HP computer, William. I'd say likely not. Haza Media, what happened to midgets? The time slot I don't think was ideal, and there was not a lot of interest, and the racing just wasn't super great. Anyways, that is going to be it for the quick little impromptu Q&A session. If people like, I'll do another one after the USAC 360 sprint cars, but their sessions are going to be launching and going live right now, so I need to go get situated, get in the server for them. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes for coverage for the sprint cars. Do not go away. We'll be back. No, it's not, Tyler. You're open. Well, welcome back here to the second segment of a Dirt Night of the non-wing sprint cars. Begin hitting the track for Dirt Night action. Randy Chenowth here seems all by my lonesome. Everyone else a little bit busy, and there are some interesting names here in split number 1 for the USAC 360 sprint cars. Bobby Sant Jr. is in this race. Those of you who were tuned in just a couple of moments ago for GRC will recognize his name. He was quickest in practice. Let's see if he can do in qualifying here at Knoxville. That number 14 car going to come through to the end of his first lap, and currently is actually not quickest. Not a quick lap from him actually at all. 18.125. He did 17.8 in practice. Let's see if he can get down, back down there. Jock Goodyear currently is 17.966, the quick time for qualifying. That number 14 car cycles through. Looks like he's not going to repeat his performance from practice there. Going to be third quickest. Let's see who else is out there on track. Jacob Melvin, you can keep questions coming in, by the way. Asked to answer Yoni Hagner's question, who's going to win tomorrow in the VRS GT iRacing World Championship Series. Not really sure. I'm kind of been focused in on Indy 500, to be honest. I think Pure Racing Team will be good, and Fernando Alonso Logitech GT Racing will likely be very quick as well. And you have Joel Berkeley here, slinging it up around the cushion. That number 5 car doesn't quite get it right, so he's going to be happy with his first lap time. 18.014. 12 car, Ted Littell. Or Liette, excuse me. I thought those were L's. I almost said little. It's just a little bit of dyslexia coming in. He's actually the last car on track. Dylan Sebelman has not done any laps, but he's in the server with 45 seconds. Not much. Jaybird says, just imagine real NASCAR races during this program doing an actual season series for iRacing. That sentence is structured very interestingly in the English language, but there are real NASCAR drivers who do this. For example, Chase Briscoe runs in the iRacing World of Outlaw Sprint Car Championship Series. It's a top-level series for dirt sprint car racing on the sim at the moment. He runs there. He's an owner-driver in the World of Outlaws in real life as well. So, as the field gets ready to count down to, well, the timer counts down to 0, that's going to be the end of qualifying. And let's go down your starting grids for the heat races. Heat race number 1. Going to be Jock Goodyear and Steven Renaud on that front row with AJ Neben and Vinny Sansone on row 2. They're going to have Corey Wenzel and Ricky Sanders on row 3 with Todd Brandt and Eddie Ryan making up the 8-car field. There will not be a B main. So for those of you who are tuning in, maybe familiar with what happens at your local dirt track, will not be a B main or a last chance qualifier. Everyone will be directly into the show. It'll be 2 twin 8-lap heat races and then a 20-lap main event to crown the winner. So just got to get ready for the field to get going here. Should be getting everyone set on the grid. I believe right now we're waiting on Eddie Ryan. Eddie did not do a qualifying time, though he ran in practice. Hopefully he's actually in the server, so we don't got to wait a long time for him. If you're in the server, feel free to yell at Eddie, tell him to get on the grid so we can get going. Don't actually do that. It's probably asking for a protest, to be honest. So here's your pick here for heat race number 1, guys. Jock Goodyear, Steven Renaud, a couple of very talented names. As I believe, yes, we have Eddie on the grid now. So they're beginning rolling off. Vinny Sansone has been very quick in these cars early on in the season, but he tapered off around midway. Corey Wenzel is, of course, very quick. Ricky Sanders, Todd Brandt, potential talents as well. And there's the potential question mark there on Eddie Ryan, considering he did not do a qualifying time. However, he was the second. No, he's near the bottom of the timing sheets in practice. So Jaybird asks, can a red flag happen in iRacing races? No, not in official series. And there are no yellow flags on the road courses. There are yellow flags, however, during the main events, the dirt oval events, depending on the sort of event, and on the ovals. You can have yellow flag periods on road, but they kind of have to be manually thrown. They do not actually happen during the during regular races, during regular official races. With that half mile left here at the Sprint Car Capital of the World in Knoxville. Sprint Car National Hall of Fame Museum on driver's right as they roll through corners number 1 and 2. These USAC 360 sprint cars, they're going to get ready to let them loose for 8 laps. Again, they're running for qualifying positions in the top, in the feature event race. So the race winner in this one will start on the pole. Second will start third. Third will start 5th. Fourth will start 7th, and so on and so forth. Pace trucks to the safety of pit road. Jock Goodyear in command of the field, and we are green for heat race number 1 here at Dirt Night for the USAC 360 sprint cars. Oh, a bit of contact already in your mid-pack. Everyone's still slicing and dicing for position. Eddie Ryan well down the order here early. But out in front, it's all 8 of Jock Goodyear's checked out for the rest of the field. Steven Renaud in second, fighting with AJ Neben and Vinny Sansone. And Vinny's taking that 3rd spot away from AJ Neben up top. Down the back straight in towards 3 and 4, they're going to come. The 9 of Vinny Sansone works the middle, going to get a run and hop up to that top side. No, not quite able to get there on Steven Renaud just yet. Steve will hold that 2nd spot for now. 4th place is AJ Neben, Ricky Sanders 5th, Corey Wenzel 6th, Todd Brandt in 7th, and Eddie Ryan rounds out this 8-car field as the field heads through corners number 3 and 4 for the 3rd time of 8 in heat race number 1. Getting through corners number 1 and 2. Bit of a slide drop behind. I believe that may have been Corey Wenzel making a move. Oh, another mistake happening. Couple of cars involved. Corey Wenzel, Todd Brandt. I believe Eddie Ryan involved with this as well. A little bit of a stack up. As out in front, we still have Vinny Sansone trying to reel in that 2nd place runner of Steven Renaud. But Renaud is doing a good job not making many mistakes. Sansone looks quicker, but Renaud looks much more consistent right now, running in that 2nd spot. And they're coming to the start-finish, 3 laps to go. So down the back, in towards corners number 3 and 4. If I didn't answer a question you posted, re-ask it, please. As they head down the front straight away, 2 laps remaining here. Jock Goodyear from Stephen Renaud and Vinny Sansone still. Down the back and in towards 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. Everyone's pretty much gapped out. We've been seeing this in the heat races traditionally. Guys don't get too crazy. They know they're basically just running for qualifying spots. No point in making a big risk for it just to finish 1 spot up or 1 row up on the grid for the feature. In towards corners number 3 and 4. That's going to allow Jock Goodyear out in front to have a good clean run, and he will win heat race number 1. Rest of your field on the left-hand side of your screen: Steve Renaud, Vinny Sansone, Rick Sanders, AJ Neben, Eddie Ryan, Todd Brandt, and Corey Winsel round out the 8-car field in heat race number 1. We get ready for heat race number 2. Once again, same format. There will only be 7 cars, but 8 laps running for qualifying spots. Let's go down your starting grid for heat race number 2. Joe Berkeley on the pole with Bobby Sant Jr. on the outside of him. 3rd and 4th is going to be Ryan O'Toole and David Heileman. Jake Melvin, Ted Liat, and Dylan Semmelman be at the tail end of the field. Dylan did not take a qualifying time, so he's going to have to do this the hard way. He did win one of these USAC 360 Dirt Night races earlier on in the season, though, as did teammate David Heileman. So they begin running their way through. Jarvis to look out for in this one. Joe Berkeley seemed quick in qualifying. Bobby Sant Jr., like I said, was quickest in practice, so he can be very, very quick. Also, Christopher, if you're asking about the track, you asked to get signed, like Jaybird said. I'm not technically an iRacing employee, just a streamer, broadcaster. I'd love to see all the dirt tracks in the United States get scanned, though. We need variety. I don't know why I said Jaybird. It was okay who answered the question. Shows how much I paid attention. But they're heading out through corners number 1 and 2. Getting ready to go green flag racing for the 2nd heat race. See a little bit of that traffic on the outside of this racetrack. Something new the sim has recently added. Cars driving around in the distance. And they're getting ready. That 5 of Joel Berkeley. He doesn't want to waste any time getting going. He's already getting a little throttle happy. But when is he going to get on it? Is he going to make these guys wait a little bit? Or is he going to go the moment that car ducks off to the left? He's going to go the moment that truck ducks off to the left. Green flag flies. We are green for heat race number 2. Joel Berkeley's through clear with the race lead. That 14 car, Bobby Sant Jr. manages to slip into 2nd, fight for 3rd. Going to be on. That's going to be Ryan O'Toole and David Heileman scrapping it out. Heileman took that 3rd spot away on the opening lap. Ryan O'Toole wants it back, is out in front. Bobby Sant Jr. wants that race lead. Going to look to the bottom. Going to throw the slider on Joel Berkeley. He's going to lead here on lap number 2 of 8. And they scream down the back straightaway. Joel Berkeley wants it back, though, up the inside. Slide job coming in. You see the front tires up on that berm. The 14 of Bobby Sant Jr., though, stays steady through the middle groove. The 14 is going to lead lap number 2. Actually, you know what? I was wrong about that. It was Joel. No, I take that back. I was right the first time. As Bobby Sant Jr. continues to lead down the inside, goes that 5 machine. He's going to wash out just a little bit. That's going to hurt him. Joel Berkeley, a little bit of an ill-advised move on that one. Not a good move there to be throwing there towards corners number 3 and 4. Saw him lose a lot of speed. Through corners number 3 and 4 now, heading towards the front straightaway. Bobby Sant Jr. still leads over Joel Berkeley. David Heileman in 3rd, Ryan O'Toole 4th. I think from here, guys will basically be getting themselves calmed down just a little bit. The rest of the field is pretty much spread out by a couple of tenths. Closest fight is for this lead battle. Bobby Sant Jr. continues to hold on to it, though. They're coming to 3 laps to go. So down the back straightaway they go for the 6th time of 8. Coming to 2 laps remaining. The 5 machine of Bobby Sant Jr. has lost a little bit of, the 5 of Joe Berkeley has lost a little bit of pace off that 14 car of Bobby Sant Jr. Way up the racetrack with that 5 machine. Out of the groove, not where you want to be. especially with the racetrack this tacky. You can run right up against the wall at Knoxville when the middle groove gets thickened up and there's a nice cushion up there. But before that happens, you really can't go up that high just yet. Through 1 and 2 now for the final time. White flag waving. The 14 of Bobby Sant Jr. after a fantastic move continues to lead this heat race. And after a fantastic run in the Rallycross cars, he's going to have a great run here already in the USAC 360 Sprint Car Dirt Night. He is going to win heat race number 2 here at Knoxville. Rest of your field on the left-hand side of your screens: Bobby Sant Jr., Joel Berkeley, David Heileman, Ryan O'Toole. And your starting grid now appearing for your feature event. So let's kick this one off. Don't think I don't see you in that chat, Tim. I see you. I'm aware. Hope your wedding goes fantastic, by the way. But with that, weddings aside, we have a starting grid that we need to go down for week number 10 for the USAC 360 Sprint Car Series here on Racespot TV, streaming live on iRacingLive for Friday Night Dirt Night. On pole, it's going to be Jock Goodyear with Bobby Sant Jr. on the outside of him. Stephen Arnaud and Joel Berkeley are going to make up row number 2. Vinny Sansone and David Heileman going to be on the 3rd row with Ricky Sanders and Ryan O'Toole on row number 4. The fireworks begin going off. AJ Neben, Jacob Melvin, they will make up your top 10 starters. Eddie Ryan, Todd Liette, row number 6. Todd Brandt, Dylan Subelman on row 7 with Corey Wenzel rounding out this 15-car grid. David Rice asked if iRacing has any South Carolina tracks. I actually don't know. I presume the answer to that question is probably yes because of the NASCAR implications, but I'm also not the smartest person that's ever been smart. The field rolls off now for the second of its pace laps. 15 cars. I want your predictions in the chat. Who's going to come away with this one? Jock Goodyear. Been quick, it's basically all night, but Bobby Sant Jr., after his mistake early, doesn't seem to want to repeat that. Confusion Racing get a win in both of the segments of Dirt Night tonight. Just have to wait and find out. I don't believe any team has actually ever done that. So maybe a little bit of bragging rights coming out there. That iRacing safety truck gets ready to duck to the safety of pit road. And we wait now for the aid of Jock Goodyear. He gets on it. We are green in the feature for Friday Night Dirt Night. Bobby Sant Jr. comfortably into second with Stephen Arnaud running in 3rd. That's where the first fight is. See the 5 of Joel Berkeley rolling down to the bottom. Can he get the run? Off corner number 2. No, he's going to slot himself in the line. So the top 5, all single file. I see one driver all the way up to the top of the racetrack. A little bit of contact. 7 to Ryan O'Toole. Big contact. We got a caution early here at Knoxville. So let's take a look, see what ended up happening here. Coming through the first couple corners. That's not going to be a great camera angle. You see they're rolling towards 3 and 4. I think Ryan got a little bit scared. I believe it was David Heileman had a little bit of an issue getting into corner number 3. I think that checked Ryan up. I want another look at it from this angle. This is obviously them going through 1 and 2 for the first time down the back straightaway. Ryan is that light blue car in the middle of your screen. See him pull up alongside Joe Berkeley, and yeah, see David Heileman had a little bit of a hiccup, and that just kind of checked Ryan up. Unfortunately, not a lot of places to go here once people start spinning out in front of you in the center of the corner. That's going to be the end of Ryan O'Toole's night. It seems like you also have the 3 car on pit road getting some repairs, as I believe we are lights out already on that. Nope, we're not. Seeing blinking back and forth there. So one more lap of pacing here. Yeah, I figured there'd be at least 1 or 2 tracks from South Carolina. I'll be honest, I'm pretty bad at knowing where a lot of the NASCAR circuits are, outside of the obvious ones like Daytona and the like. And of course the ones near me. Sonoma, Fontana, Phoenix. The ones with the really obvious names are always nice. Like Phoenix, like that one's just obviously in Arizona. I almost sounded real smart. Well, that lights look out to me as they head down the back straightaway. So I will let my inability to name off geographic locations slip by and get ready for 16 laps to go in this feature race. Field back in command of Jock Goodyear. Bobby Sand Jr. was very pacey for that little bit. We got a green flag racing. Let's see if we can keep it green and maybe let him loose. Green flag back in the air as Jock Goodyear gets on it. He's got a big lead now over the 14 of Bobby Sand Jr. Bobby's going to have to work hard to reel that gap in. Stephen Arnaud already scrapping now with the 5 of Joel Berkeley and David Heileman in the 2. So three-way scrap for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 2, 3, and 4. We see the 2 machine of Heileman down on the bottom. Not really the preferred line right now, and he's going to basically just slot himself into the line in that 5th spot. Vinny Sansone in 6th just behind, as well as Jacob Melvin, Ted Liette up there as well. As you see, Bobby Sant Jr. doing a good job. He's reeled in that 8 of Jock Goodyear already. Has Bobby. It was an 18.7 for him last time through versus an 18.9 for Jock Goodyear. So it's 0.2 of a second quicker with a 14 car. He's going to try to hook up the middle and get a run down the back straightaway here. Will he have any overlap? Just barely. In towards corner number 3. Slide job gets thrown. The A machine of Jock Goodyear is going to try to cut it back down to the bottom. And it's going to work out. The 14 of Bobby Sant Jr., despite trying as hard as he can, will not take the race lead for long. As the fight for 3rd has given Steve Renaud that 3rd spot. He's done a good job holding on to it, as both Joe Berkeley and David Heileman are trying to get it away from him. But that fight for the lead is still a close one, and the one we need to really keep an eye on. Coming off the corner now, the 14 machine down the back straightaway. Not going to get quite the run he needs, but he's on that 8 car as if he were a shadow. Just trying to reel him in. Looks like a shadow too, basically all black with the blue roll bars. Nearly half distance in this one, 9 of 20 scored complete. Bobby Sant Jr. looks to be a man on a mission right now, as he's going to roll down at this back straight in towards 3 and 4 once again. But Jock Goodyear's done a good job the last couple laps to open up the gap. David Heileman, he's fighting for 3rd. A little bit of a contact there, I believe, with that 5 of Joe Berkeley. Some actually happened to Steve Renaud. Steve, a little bit of a mistake, drops down to the 8th spot. But the 5 and the 2 are continue swapping positions here for this 3rd position. As once again, Heileman down to the bottom with the 5 machine of Joe Berkeley is able to get that 3rd spot back, as he heads off towards corners number 1 and 2 now once again in the 5 car. Starting to check away from that 2 machine of Heileman. Out in front though, Bobby Sant Jr. harassing the mirrors of that number 8 machine. Looking up top off of corner number 2, and he's going to hook up the top groove through 3 and 4. Will he be able to get a run with that tacky dirt up top? Maybe, bit of momentum. Oh, I think both of them just bounced off the wall a little bit, entering corner number 1. Oh, what a move by the 14 car to work the cutback. Gets down to the bottom in towards corners number 3. Going to slide through the middle of the racetrack. Can he maintain traction though? The A machine of Jock Goodyear. Caution's going to actually end up coming out. But who actually had the race lead? Who is the sim going to give it to? I think they're going to give it to the 14 of Bobby Sant Jr. Well, that explains where the caution came from. I was about to ask, let's see what brought out the caution. It was the 4 machine of Corey Wenzel. Actually, who was that? We'll pick up Corey in a second, but what in the world happened here to the 13? I thought it was going to be the 4 car ending up on his lid, and then just randomly down the back straightaway. You got this 13 car. Oh, just hard racing here in your mid-pack. He ends up upside down. What actually happens to Corey Wenzel? Because he was clear of that incident. What in the world what happened to everybody? Ted Liette ended up upside down. What in the world? Do anyone have any idea what just happened? Like, everyone here in this section of the track just basically pushed right up the racetrack. It's like they couldn't get you just watch AJ Neven. It's like the same thing. It happens to him in 1 and 2. You see the 13 and the 11. They just push right up the racetrack in 1 and 2, and then down the back straightaway. Of course, a couple of them end up flipping, and then 3 cars all just push right up to the outside wall. That is really bizarre. Really, really odd there. As I believe we're lights out inside of 5 laps to go. They ended up giving the 8 car of Jock Goodyear the race lead. Let's see what happens. Not sure if we lost the track or what, with everyone sliding through corners all the corners the way they were. 4 laps to go once they start this one off. The 8 machine of Jock Goodyear wastes no time. Big jump. And Joe Berkeley's going to have a look already on Bobby Sant Jr. No, not going to get there. But he's going to have a look to the outside wall. The 5 car going to start to cause a little bit of a traffic jam in the mid-pack. Couple cars going to be struggling. A little bit of contact, but does a good job holding on to it. Bobby Sant Jr., though, now nearly a 7/10 of a second disadvantage over that 8 machine of Jock Goodyear to try to reel in about 4 laps. Down the back now with 3 laps to go. The 14 of Bobby Sant Jr. nowhere close enough to make a move. 1 car slow coming off the pit road. That's the 4 machine of Corey Wenzel. See a couple of other drivers, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Really where the close fights are right now. Vinny Sansone sort of in the middle of this pack. He's dealing with Jake Melvin. See, everyone is pushing right up to the outside line. It's through corners number 3 and 4 for the final time for race leader Jock Goodyear. Penultimate time, for Jock Goodyear. White flag raised at the iRacing starter stand in towards corners number 1 and 2. Didn't hold on to it. Can Bobby Sant Jr. make anything happen on this last lap? Gonna get a run down on the back straightaway. Will close. And he runs through corners number 3 and 4. I don't think he's got it in him. The 8 machine, though, Jock Goodyear certainly does. And Jock is going to win here at Knoxville on Friday night, Dirt Night segment number 2, USAC 360 Sprint Cars. What a run there from Jock Goodyear, your race winner here tonight. Quickest in qualifying, looked untouchable in the heat race. And I have to say, he wasn't untouchable in the feature. I really do think Bobby Sant Jr. was the better car tonight. Certainly was the man to, I think, would have been the man to beat had he put it together in qualifying. But regardless, the 8 machine of Jock Goodyear does a fantastic job to hold on to it. So we're going to go down your post-race results. So Jock Goodyear with the big win here from Club Australia New Zealand. I will not call him an Australian or a New Zealander, because if I do either of those things and I am wrong, he will be incredibly mad at me, because the rivalry between Aussies and Kiwis is insane. Bobby Sant Jr. is a Quaker, though. He finishes in 2nd with David Heileman in 3rd. Joel Berkeley from Oz, New Zealand, as well as in 4th, and Stephen Arnaud rounds out the top 5 from Club Canada. Very international top 5. Vinny Sansone in 6th, Jake Melvin in 7th, Todd Brandt in 8th. List getting a little bit ahead of itself there. AJ Neben in 9th, and Eddie Ryan rounds out the top 10. We just scroll on down through the order. Corey Wenzel, Ricky Sanders, Todd Liette, Ryan O'Toole, and Dylan Silman, the drivers who had a bit of a struggle here in this one. So we're going to take a moment and get some post-race coverage coming at you. Like I said, if you guys do want to ask some questions, feel free to do so in the chat. And let's just start here. Your name is TeamSpeak User, so this is a risk. User, what is your name?
My name is Jock.
His name is Jock Goodyear, and I would say, given the accent, you're Australian rather than a New Zealander. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I was correct. Well, Jock, car looks pretty hooked up out there. You had a close fight with that 14 of Bobby Sant Jr., who I honestly think Bobby, easily the quickest car on the night. How were you able to hold him back?
I just had to keep hitting my lines. Like, credit to him, he was fast all night, and I knew it'd be a challenge.
Is he is Bobby someone that you're used to racing with? Because he's sort of an unknown name for me. He came out of he sort of came out of nowhere in the Red Bull Global Rallycross stuff. He had a good run tonight there, led some laps early, and then I honestly don't recall seeing his name in the sprint cars either. So is he someone you've raced with before, or is he just a prodigy that no one's ever heard of?
I've never heard of him, man. Yeah, heard of him.
Well, I guess it works out for him, but it ends up working out for you as well, coming away with the big win. So, Jock, congratulations on the big win today. Before we let you go, any shout-outs, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank everyone at TTL Esports, all the sponsors, Ultimate Dirt TV, Down Under Graphics, Ass Media,
Well, thank you for joining us once again, Jock, and congratulations on the big win. Hope to see you run strong out there next week.
Thank you.
Well, moving on down the order. stood by now is second place runner Bobby Sant Jr. And Bobby, you put in a very good run tonight in Dirt Night. You had a very respectable run in the Rallycross despite a little bit of a mistake from yourself, and you were easily the quickest car of the night in the sprint cars. How was that run from you in that number 14? Because you looked like you were pretty much on rails all night.
Oh yeah, the car was hooked up real good. I felt really good right off the bat there. It's just a really tough track to pass on, and when that caution came out, it was just not what I was looking for. But I had an awesome time racing with Jock. That was a lot of fun.
And now you had a fantastic run in the GRC stuff as well. And you're really the first person we've seen in a while come out and have good runs both in Rallycross and in some of the dirt stuff. I think Michael Guest last season was the only really driver that was really capable of doing it. What is it that what do you feel more comfortable in? Which side of the fence do you normally swing on the dirt stuff? Is it more, are you more of a Rallycross guy? Are you more of a sprint car guy? Or are you just sort of an all-rounder?
For a while, I've definitely been more of a sprint car guy. I have a lot more time in the sprint cars. The Rallycross, I really only started putting laps in about 2 weeks ago. So getting a lot better with that, still working on getting really comfortable. The sprint car, I'm real comfortable in.
Well, definitely appears that way, Bobby, as you had a fantastic run. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 14 car? I know it's Fusion Racing on the GRC side of things, but who gets it done for you in the sprints?
For the sprint cars, it's Untamed Motorsports, team I've been a part of for about 10 years now. Some of the Fusion guys run a little bit of the sprint car stuff with me. We're kind of two different teams, two big families, though. We all work together.
Yeah, I know Terry the Nerd Renner occasionally slings some dirt.
Absolutely. Josh Fox gets it done pretty often, too.
Well, congratulations to you, Bobby. Well done on the good run tonight across both disciplines. Hopefully you can put it all together, though, for Rallycross next week.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you guys putting on the show. But we got one more interview slated for you guys. This is third place runner, the number 2 machine of David Heileman. David, why didn't you win?
All right, before you start questioning me, what about my run last week in my first ever top split Rallycross race? I had a top 5 car until the last turn.
That was nearly as bad as this.
No, I forgot. I ran a race earlier and I had an 8.6 gear in the heat race and I didn't like it, so I upped it for a heat race tonight, and then I forgot to take it out before the feature. So I was battling with Joel early and just trying to make the bottom work while it was there, but wasn't really able to, but I was able to pick them off, a couple guys off on a restart, and yeah, I guess we'll have to take a third.
Yeah, you better be happy with it.
Oh, with the field that showed up tonight for sure.
But how are you feeling right now on the dirt stuff in general? I know you've had a couple nights in the World of Outlaw World Championships, the sprint car and the late models that you're not too fond of. You've sort of gotten off on the wrong foot on those, I think, is the nice way to put it.
Yeah, we're still looking for our first feature. Sprint cars was just, caught up in an incident racing hard in a heat race, and then, didn't even see lap 2 of the B main.
Well, if you qualified as good as Tim, that wouldn't be a problem.
Don't. Yeah, well, I don't know what to do when there's not a wall to back up on Charlotte. Maybe I can back up into one of those lights.
Yeah, then, no comment.
We don't got to talk about that now.
Yeah, we don't.
But in the late models,
I don't care if you get in trouble, but I ain't getting in trouble.
No, in the late models, I was happily surprised with my speed. I know for being probably the second worst late model track for me on the schedule, I was pleasantly surprised at the speed I had in the heat and the B main. It was just unfortunate what happened. Kind of gotten it with one of my teammates and had to lift and lost the transfer spot, but we're keeping our hopes up.
Well, thanks for joining us, David. Congrats on the P3. Who gets it done for you besides Team VLR?
Thanks for putting it on with Racespot again, Randy. Yeah, guys at VLR, and then well, I guess I can't thank TAC 3 defense because they weren't on my wingless sprint. So just shout out to all the viewers and the Hyla Maniacs watching on a lovely Friday night here.
Well, still waiting for David to put together the sort of performance he put together at Lima Land, but I think we're all going to be disappointed with that for the rest of the series.
I just should have stopped showing up because that was going to be my peak, and I'll never live up to that again.
Yeah, you're never going to live up to it again. That last lap sort of slider is forever as good as you're going to get. But congratulations, David. Hope to see you next week.
Yep, thanks, sir.
So moving on, we got one more person to interview, and this is a driver, the number 5, Joel Berkeley. Joel, pretty good night for you overall to finish P4. How are you finding these non-wing sprint cars?
Very difficult.
Well, that's pretty simple. Well, it's a simple answer. I don't know if it's a simple solution, but what's the, I know a lot of people, they can obviously visually see the differences between the sprint cars, and those who have driven them know that how different they are. What sort of, on the technical side of things, when you're kind of messing with things inside of the setup, are these non-winning cars, are they more sensitive to setup changes, less sensitive? What are there different aspects inside of the garage that you use to find speed compared to the wing sprints?
I don't know. I just drive it. Yeah. you got to have a lot of wheel work to be decent in these, I found. Yeah. Obviously, I didn't have enough of it because I killed the wall.
You weren't the only one. We had a sort of phase where I think we had 3 cars upside down in about a 10-second window. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, I probably would have been right if David didn't feed me a wheel, but yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. David's a bit of a jerk. He's known for doing those sort of things, but it's okay. But congratulations to you, Joel, on the good top 4 run. You were part of a couple close fights all night with David and Steven, and kind of Vinny was there just barely hanging on to that fight as well. Before we let you go, who gets it done for you on that number 5 machine?
Yeah, it was a good race with David and Steven before that year. But yeah, massive thanks to the guys at TTL Esports, down to Graphics, Hoppy, Stimulate, Ash Media, Thigh Designs, and Ultimate Dirt TV. Well,
thank you for joining us tonight, and hope to see you run strong next week.
I should be here.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so, as we are going to begin wrapping things up here on Racespot TV. Tim Regner says, oh, I see what it says. Shout outs to Michelle for the big day tomorrow. Michelle Rengers, congratulations on the wedding. I know there were some initial inklings to get me involved, didn't end up panning out. But good luck tomorrow, and good luck being married to Tim. You're probably going to need it. But for us here on Racespot TV, that's going to be the end of it for us tonight. There were a couple questions on the number of races we typically do in a stream. It sort of varies. Typically, we'll only do 1 race, but it'll typically be a longer race, and you'll see a couple of those tomorrow. So tomorrow night, right here on iRacingLive, Racespot TV is bringing you 2 of the biggest races of the year. We have the iRacing we have the Virtual Racing School iRacing World Championship GT Series, 6 hours of the Nürburgring GP track. Look out for that. The best drivers in the GT3 cars duking it out for 6 hours, and the greatest, one of the greatest sim racing events of the year, the greatest spectacle in sim racing, coming tomorrow as well. This is going to be streamed live on Racespot TV and streamed live on iRacingLive as well. Gonna be at the time of 5 p.m. GMT, so 1700 GMT. Do some math, figure out what that is in your time zone. Spoiler alert, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. The iRacing Indianapolis 500 will be coming at you here on Racespot TV. Myself, Will Vincent, and Aaron Likens will be on the call for all 200 laps. Look for those drivers in the brand new Dallara IR18. I'll run the advert for that just after this. Will's voice is included in that one. So we look forward to seeing you tune in and join us for the big events we have this weekend. Of course, we also have the Major Series Coke 600 on Sunday as well. So a busy night of action, our own sort of triple crown for the weekend. In real life, you sort of get the Monaco GP, the Indy 500, and the Coke 600 all on Sunday. It's spread over a couple days, and there's a slight little, let's say, curveball in there with the GT cars as opposed to Monaco. But thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy this Dallara IndyCar ad as a bit of a precursor, bit of a hype machine for the Indy 500, and we will see you all hopefully tomorrow.
Once again, from chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's